Yo, 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 yo. You already know what it is. It's your motherfucking boy, Cage in the Basement. We live, we lit, and I'm back. DNA versus Vixen the Assassin. Now, off rip, I'm going to just say this. This battle was fire. This might be a classic. When we talking about male versus females, this is one of them things. This is definitely one of them things. Now, it is an all-time classic. We'll see as time go by. But off rip, all parties in this battle did their thing. This was the most debatable battle on the card, in my opinion. And let's get into it. Let's break this down. I got the scorecard up. Now, look, the way we do this scorecard is I'm going to break down each round individually, and I'm going to point out a few things I like. I'm also going to take note of all the stumbles and all the chokes. Now, at the end, I'm going to break down the rounds by score. I'm going to give a rating from 1 through 10, and then I'm going to be able to see who won the entire battle when I look at the total score. Now, chokes and stumbles. When it comes to chokes and stumbles, for stumbles is minus 0.5 points. That's minus a half a point of your overall score for the round. A choke is minus 1 point. And it also affects your overall score for that round. So choking just brings the score down. Then you get the minus. That's what I do about the chokes and the stumbles. Let's get into it. I got the scorecard up. Let's break this down. DNA, round 1. He came out. I told the whole battle culture, y'all don't deserve me. I was lacking the passion. Then he started getting into it. You know DNA, he got this ill flow nowadays. What'd he say? Now it's Cleopatra. I got poisonous queen and you're getting wrapped in this fabric? Crazy. That line was crazy. Then he started punching back to back. What'd he say? The coke so white they used to watch Dawson's Creek? Oh, man. That Dawson's Creek line was crazy. Talk that Dawson's Creek shit, please. What'd he say? Assassin on a contract like GoldenEye? What? Assassin, yo, that line hit for me. Look, all my GoldenEye 007 niggas, let me know what's popping. All my N64 GoldenEye niggas, let me know what's popping. All my niggas that played 007, that line was fire. I was really fucking with that. Then he started spazzing. What'd he say? Which grip do I get to pick? How about a couple assassin, Mr. and Mrs. Smith? That shit was fire. Like, I really like that line because Mr. and Mrs. Smith is one of my all-time favorite movies to watch. That's why that line hit. That movie reminds me of Fun with Dick and Jane. That's another good, popular couples movie. What'd he say? And while girls said I was gonna lose, I don't discriminate either. Now that I know who got this stock juice, I'ma eliminate Rita? Ah, man, that shit was crazy. That lemonade Rita, that shit was fire. I like that. He had a little Fortnite line in there. Now look, I don't know what the hell is going on in battle rap with all these Fortnite lines coming out of nowhere, but people must be really playing that Fortnite shit, or at least they used to play it. That shit was cool. He had a lot of cool assassin flips in this round. Back to back with the assassin flips. In closing, he closed out the round pretty strong. DNA had a great opener for him to have such a long time off, but you can tell he was just getting warmed up. Vixen came out round 1. Thank you for taking this battle. They said I need you. They say with DNA they click. Bitch, me too. I like that little intro. That was cool. She came out with a lot of aggression off the rip. I was kind of surprised to see her having this much aggression. I didn't really see her previous battle, so I was like, okay, she all on him. What'd she say? Even in Corona, don't think a chick from the mill is a light draft? Yo, that was crazy. She had a little post office scheme in there. That was cool. She had an Ike and Tina line. That was cold. Oh, my God. What'd she say? Caffeine. After all the men you advertise how I get stuck with the junk mail? That was funny as hell. She had a stealing loss prevention line in there. That was real slick. Real clever. I caught that. She had a retirement pension line in there. That was crazy. Yo, she had a Kama Sutra scream in there. Oh my God. That shit was fire. That shit was nasty. What'd she say? Your name Eric St. John. That's not tough. I'm out the dog east style. Blow his back out rough. What? That was crazy. Sticks banging on the ceiling. I'm talking to the man upstairs. Crazy. Then she basically started spazzing. Her performance was very impressive. Like I was saying, she was all on DNA, like giving them no space, not blinking. What'd she say? I ride on them, slide on them. I'm just letting you know how dumb you look when you try to sound like K-Shine. I just thought I might try it on them. That shit was hilarious. Yo, the performance was on point too. Yo, that round was fire from Vixen. I'm sitting here like, oh, what we got here? Look at She was going off. I'm like, yo, DNA had a good round, but shorty is bugging right now. And she kind of had the wow factor for me because I ain't really expect that. She was like blowing my fucking mind away. I'm like, yo, is she really wilding like this on DNA? Wow, that was crazy. In closing, she closed out with an election day angle about him and Clips and the ad they did. That shit was dope. She didn't really touch on it too much. She just closed out real strong and just left it at that. What she say? She basically closed out saying Trump and Biden ain't shit and calling him a raccoon and all that. That shit was crazy. Very, very impressive round from Vixen. She shocked the hell out of me, and I'm pretty sure she shocked the hell out of the whole world, including DNA. He was in trouble after that first round. I ain't gonna hold you. DNA, round 2, he comes out. I had to make sure I had the right angle before I stepped in front of this camera. Then he started going off. He had a nudity line. Yo, that nudity line, what'd he say? Nudity? Yo, that shit is crazy. That shit was fire. Then he went into like a X-rated scheme. That shit was crazy. That shit was nasty. Yo, what'd he say? Your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, but I never got you a real man? Oh, man. He had a Lauryn Hill line in there. That shit was crazy. What'd he say? They usually lure in the ones that miss education? Oh, my God. What'd he say? I'm not punching because she used to domestic violence? Come on, DNA, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. He had a mystical scheme in there. Danger. Yo, he had a mystical scheme in there. That shit was crazy. He brought up Illuminati and battle rap, a very big topic lately. What'd he say? Norbs and Showstopper was your sacrifice? Damn, that's gonna get you a PG in the afterlife. That shit was funny as hell. You should have picked murder, hitman. That's more the assassin type? He had a black and white angle in there. That shit was crazy. Talking about her being biracial. Then he gets into the Norbs and Vixen situation. Then he had a line in there. That was crazy. What'd he say? Before I skirt off, I just want to be as honest could be. At URLevents, Norbs barely even got it for free. You should have gave that. You should have gave it to the nigga that do the band battles. Just don't tell him you got it for me. And I mean it's serious talent, period challenge. You should have gave a body to pee. Yo, that shit had me crying. What'd he say? Serious talent, period challenge. You should have gave a body to pee. You should have gave it to the nigga that throw the band battles. Just don't tell him you got it for me. That nigga DNA is a dickhead. Yo, what he say? It's amazing how you made X videos. Get off my fucking site. Come on, man. Come on, man. Then at the end, he turned up. Yo, that last segment, he started bugging. That rhyming pattern was flawless. Like, yo, DNA. That shit crazy. This nigga DNA, yo, his wordplay, the nigga delivery, the nigga was moving his shoulders. I'm like, this nigga bugging. Look at this nigga. Yeah, he turning up now. Nigga's taking off his jacket. Nigga was doing all type of shit. I'm like, look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. How he ended that shit? Why would I need to assassinate Assassin's character when every day she assassinates? Hold on, what did he say? Why would I need to assassinate Assassin when every day she assassinates a character? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? That shit was crazy. In closing, DNA had a crazy, crazy round 2. He turned that shit all the way up. I was like, there we go. There we go. Ain't no way Vixen about to beat this. No way. This nigga just bugged the fuck out. Vixen, round 2. That rebuttal was crazy. What's she saying? I really like that Norb shit, but that shit dead. But after I heard about that lawsuit, I did text him like, hey, big head. Yo, that shit was fire, yo. I didn't know she could fuck a rebuttal like that. I'm sitting there like, oh, shit. She actually had a decent rebuttal. That's crazy. What she say? Ironically, a nigga named DNA can never intertwine with these genes? Oh, shit. That was crazy. That was like her opening line or some shit. I'm like, oh, shit. Then she started talking about DNA sliding in her inbox. Yo, she said she saved his name as DNA. Do not answer. That shit was funny as hell. At this point, I'm like, yo, she's bugging. Oh, shit. We got a battle. We got a battle. Then she started punching back to back to back. Yo, I never seen one of her old battles, like I said before. But she was wildin'. I was thoroughly impressed. Punchlines, wordplay, witty shit, all that. What'd she say? Every father's worst nightmare, daughter looking up to Vixen? Oh, man. Yo, that segment about DNA's daughter, that whole little segment, 4-bar shit was fire, yo. She set that up perfect. And then she landed that. That was like a haymaker. Father's worst nightmare, daughter looking up to a Vixen. She described the whole scene, had the imagery and all of that in there. Yo, that shit was crazy. That was dope. But she say she even used his shit on him. Trying to talk through this round, that's a rookie mistake? What? Yo, she was all on DNA. Beat him. Oh, my God, yo. Yo, that part when she was like, beat him with the gun. Yeah, strike it like, yo, her poise, the way she delivered this segment was so crazy to me. When she say beat him with the gun, yeah, strike it like that. DNA on the butt, cause my nigga know I like it like that. Nasty. And she set it up, nigga, why you typing like that? Like, yo, that segment was fire. What she say, DNA on the butt, cause my nigga know I like it like that? What? Nasty. Crazy. What she say? Bringing up my white blood count? Niggas think bringing up my white blood count. I just think being sick of cell. What? Hold up. What? That was crazy. I'm like, oh shit. What the fuck? I just think being sick, bringing up my white blood cell account. I just think being sick of cell. Oh man. Yo, that was great counter writing to me, because DNA was addressing her lineage, and it was like, yo, she counter wrote that perfect. I don't know if she swapped her rounds around because she was going second or what, but that was fire to me. In closing, yo, she had a very, 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 very impressive second round. Surprised me again. And the funny part about it is she was great on offense. When it comes to performance, she was all on DNA, not letting that nigga get no space to breathe. And yo, he was doing all the veteran moves. He was walking away from her, turning his back on her, spinning around in circles, shrugging his shoulder. This nigga was using every vet tactic in the book, and it still didn't work. She was all on this nigga like white on rice, man. That shit just looked at crazy fire. Dope round. Now, round 3, DNA. Man, oh man. Now look, with this round, I'm not going to quote too many of the lines because I liked everything. In this third round, I liked everything. I usually just quote a few of the bars I like the most, but in this round, as a cohesive unit, I liked every bit of it, and I'm going to get into it. Now, he started off attacking Vixen's lineage. And we all knew that was coming. And that was cool. He even had my name DNA, so I know it's passed down. Like, that shit was fire. Then he started getting that hollow. Then I'm going to just name a list of few things he got, few topics he touched in this fucking segment. But to do this justice, y'all gotta go back and watch this. Even if y'all gonna just watch the third round. So you can kind of do that on the app. This shit is fire. The nigga got it hollow. He mentioned the avocado situation, and he got into detail with that too. He started defending, his stance on a campaign ad that him and Clips just did. I like that little segment. He even addressed Math Hoffa. Yo, that shit was fire. And I guess Math Hoffa had avocado on his show. He addressed Math for that. That shit was crazy with the whole AdSense line. Yo, he had a hip hop is real line or scheme punchline mixed with a scheme thing. Nigga put a camera in my face. He ain't getting no bars. Yo, oh man, DNA was spazzing at this point. The nigga addressed Uncle Ra. Then he went back to hollow. The nigga was talking to smack. Yo. Now look, I'm purposely not really quoting the bars, man, because I don't really think I could do it that much justice. This was one of them rounds, man, like that B-Dot round. This was one of them rounds where you kind of got to hear it as a cohesive unit to really appreciate it. DNA executed this round flawlessly, in my opinion, up into the end. Now, that last segment was fire. I did like his flow pattern. I did like he was getting into it. He even started addressing mad random shit around the room. That little freestyle segment, he started addressing Vixen's mannerisms. Like, she wasn't even talking. This nigga started addressing her mannerisms. Like, you can't do shit when you battle DNA. You better just stand still and look straight. Then he gonna talk about you standing still. You can't do shit battling this nigga. In closing, DNA had a very, very powerful third round. And it's a lot of things he addressed in there. You know what I mean? Now look, wait. I did calculate one stumble in this round. It was a minor stumble during this little freestyle segment, but I did calculate that. But yeah, overall, DNA round was real powerful. The only problem, it's not even a problem. The only thing I wanted to point out with this round, at least 80% of DNA's material was directed at everybody else. You know what I mean? And He did have a lot to address coming back off such a long hiatus, and I understand that. But he only had about 20% of his round directed towards Vixen, and the most of that was in his freestyle segment. So I'm not going to say it killed the third round for me or nothing. It was only like the last 8 bars or such, probably a little bit more. But I still think he completed his objective, and that was a fire round from DNA. Classic DNA round. He even had the freestyles, everything in there. Now, round 3. Now, Vixen came out and said, no, Vixen, when DNA ended his third round, she said, yeah, he had the freestyle because he know he was losing. That was funny. DNA was like, no, I'm not. He said, yeah, nigga brought out a freestyle because he know he was losing. Then she started her round with an actual rebuttal, which was cool, you know what I mean? But that's dangerous. It's just dangerous because that shit fall flat. It kind of throws your whole momentum off. But I respect the fact that she got the rebuttal off and it landed. But yo, I do like what she say. I do like the post. She say, why would you play with me? And I don't really play with myself because soon as I get the wiping DNA, I'm ashamed of myself. Like that, yo, that whole shit was fire. Like, why would you play with me? And I don't like to even play with myself. Soon as I get the wiping DNA, I'm ashamed of my, yo, that shit was nasty. Nasty. I was like, oh man, here she go again with the nasty shit. Here we go, fire. Then she started going, and yo, she was punching back to back again in the third round. Yo, she addressed the DNA A-verb battle and addressed his driving situation. Yo, she started addressing his fucking girl and the fact that his girl drive for him and all that. Yo, she was wilding. She addressed his pops passing away. She talked about his mother's situation. Yo, she kept going. She addressed the twerk battle. Like, yo, she had everything in this shit. She just kept going. She was attacking DNA directly, all up on him. What she say? I slapped the bitch out of you and introduced him to a better man? Oh, my God. Holy shit. Yo, when she said that, I think I was drinking something. I damn near dropped the shit, spilt something on my shirt. I was like, oh, shit, what the fuck? She said, I slapped the bitch out you and introduced her to a better man? What? What in the yo? She wasn't just talking crazy to DNA. She was all up on this nigga, all in his face, pushing him. This nigga DNA trying to turn around. She turning around with the nigga all in his grill. I'm like, yo, she was wilding. Like, yo, DNA had great defense in this shit. Her offense was overpowering his defense, and she's doing her thing on offense. It was crazy. Yo, she even had a get him the fuck out of here segment, yo. She used his moves against him. Just like in the beginning, she had the rookie mistake line. At the end, she closed out basically using them. Get that the fuck out of here. Get this the fuck out of here. Get that the fuck out of here. Then she closed out with, you know what? Get smacked the fuck out of here. Yo, that shit was crazy. That whole segment was fire. Fire. Classic. I love that shit. Now look. I did calculate at least 2 stumbles in this round. And I did calculate that. They was real minor stumbles. She was kind of in her in her groove, you know what I mean? And she got it back immediately, but I calculated it nonetheless. In closing, Vixen had a very, 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 very powerful third round. Again, very good offense. And she wrote a real defensive round. Like, all of her rounds was real defensive. And it worked in her favor because DNA was literally assassinating her character in a real classy way. He wasn't really being disrespectful to women. He was just coming at her head like he was supposed to. And he was addressing shit since he'd been going so long. And that was dope. But she had real good structure in her rounds. I like that a lot. Mixed with some real talk in there too. And the thing about this round, like at least 90% of her material was going directly at DNA. She couldn't spit half that shit to somebody else. She couldn't spit none of it to somebody else. Almost none of those rhymes can be repurposed. It was tailor-made for DNA. And I love shit like that. That shit was crazy. And that's a perfect contrast to what DNA just did. He had a lot of shit to address and he couldn't really address her as much in his third. So, you know, that was just the contrast there. DNA addressed the whole industry, and she addressed DNA directly. So I like the dynamic there. Now, let's get into the score. Let's break this down. Now, round 1. I gave DNA 7.5 for round 1. I think it was a real solid round, but it was basically an opener round, and you could tell he was warming up. All in all, it was a real solid round. Now, round 2. I gave DNA a 8.5 for round 2. Now, all in all, this was a great round for DNA as well. Solid. I don't really have any complaints. Round 3, I gave DNA a 8. And also, I minus 0.5 points for the stumble he had, the slight stumble he had in that round. So he ended off the round with the 8. So that's 7.5 for round 1, 8.5 for round 2, and an 8 for round 3. That's a total of 24 points for DNA for this battle. Great job. Now, Vixen, round 1, I gave her 8. For round 1, she came out smoking. She actually beat DNA's round 1, in my opinion. Her round was very, very solid, and it was very aggressive, and I was very impressed. Round 2, I gave Vixen an 8.5 for this round. This was also a very, very powerful round. I thought, damn, the fact that she was able to come back and match DNA's energy. Then the last round, I gave her a 9.5 minus the whole point. So she ends up with an 8.5. She ends up with a 8.5 for round 3 because I did minus the 2 stumbles, which were 0.5 points apiece. So that's a whole point minus. So she went from a 9.5 down to an 8.5 for round 3. But that still gives her a total of 25 points. I got Vixen the Assassin winning this battle. All 3 rounds. Now, you can argue that the second rounds were even. And even after her deductions in the third, the rounds were still basically also even. But that still makes it so she wins this battle with a complete 1-point victory. So I'm giving Vixen the battle. 25 total points to DNA's 24. Let's go, man. Let's get it. Now, with that being said, congratulations to both of them, and they both did their thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of them again. It's your boy Cage in the Basement, and I'm out, man.